Tomorrow is Veterans Day, the most important national holiday, at least to me. It is where we honor all of our veterans. And on this video, you're going to be experiencing every single food from different wars. Some of the things that I was able to get my hands on is over 100 years old. And yep, we're gonna be trying that too. But most importantly, thank you to all the veterans for everything you do. And this is David. He has been working with me for a while. He's a veteran. You're gonna be joining me with this video. And most importantly, thank you for your service, David.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Also, I just want to thank my fellow brothers and sisters in arms for your service. Thank you for what you do.
Thanks to all you veterans. You guys fight for the things that we get to enjoy today.
And we're gonna start off with the war for our independence.
Why is there a candle and soap?
Exactly.
The Revolutionary War, it all started in 1775, and that's because the colonies did not agree with taxation from the British, so we fought for our independence. During that period, this is what they ate. It wasn't much. Usually they just give you a bag like this. Inside they had some flour, a piece of bread, coffee to keep you awake, and since that wasn't much, they would often scavenge for their own food, including vegetables if available. But they also gave you some salt, a soap and a candle, and a pound of meat. Now with the flour, soldiers would get really creative, and the easiest thing to do was this, hardtack, which is a small cracker that is simple to make, and it preserved well. For that, you would just combine flour, salt, and water, mix it up until you have some type of a dough. They usually would cook it on a hot rock, and in the end, you're left with this, hardtack. But the real key was the meat. They provided you with 1 pound of meat, and to cook it, they didn't have anything else but live fire. Usually it was done on a stick, just like this. And even though the meats would often vary, this is the food that fueled our independence.
Pretty basic, you know? Yeah. It is what you would expect.
I guess you gotta wash it down with some coffee.
Not that bad.
Not that bad. Look, it's something that will fuel your belly, but I think things are gonna get even more wild than this. And of course, don't forget your soap, my bro. Take a bite.
I regret that.
I was kidding. Let's jump on to the next one.
A simple explanation is that the Civil War was fought over the moral issues of slavery. It was one of the darkest time in our nation, and the food did not change much during that period. They still had similar things as previous wars. Very simple, as minimalistic as it gets, because very often they would not have enough. This is what they would get on their best case scenario. As often they would hunt for small critters or anything that they can find. It wouldn't usually be a big steak like this.
Yeah, they would actually go out and kind of scavenge for things that if they'd be low on, their own rations.
You got what you got, you don't get upset. There's nothing wrong with this one here, everybody. However, next one is about to get real weird. We are now ready for World War I, where things got a little bit crazy.
World War I started in 1914, and even though there was a lot of different factors that contributed to the war, the main one was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austrian-Hungary by a Serbian nationalist. For this ration, this is what they had. Some might look familiar to you, others not so much. What do you think, David?
Well, this was the first time that the U.S. fought a war overseas, so we're still trying to figure out our supply chain, and it shows.
Especially these two. These are 100% original from the period. To be specific, 107 years old. Now, if you are like me, you're probably asking, what is pemmican? Well, let me explain. It is a unique treat made out of raisin, peanuts, evaporated apples, sugar, oil, and vanilla extract. As I carefully open up this package, this is what it looks like. The first thing that hits me is the smell. The can made it smell metallic. It is powerful. But there was one other thing with it. This is how the hardtack came, which this can is over 100 years old, the original. And even though I'm not quite sure how they used to open it back then, a knife seemed to do the work just fine. And when I opened it up, I was quite surprised what I got inside. The crackers were very well preserved, but I'll be honest with you, removing them from the container was not that easy. But once I was able to get them out, they are extremely dry, powdery, but the thing that was most impressive was the smell. It was 100% metallic. It seems like it was no longer a cracker and just a piece of metal. So this was their emergency ration because their everyday meal included sardines, coffee, sugar, and cigarettes.
I'm glad this one comes with cigarettes because it's looking like I'm gonna need one after that.
Isn't that crazy? They give you cigarettes in World War I, huh? World War I. Cheers.
Cheers.
This cracker. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that one for me. David, you all right?
I would have a tough time.
I can't believe you guys don't like sardines. I love sardines.
I think I would rather eat just the cracker than the cracker with the sardine on top.
Now it's time for World War II.
In 1939 was the beginning of World War II, and it mainly happened because Germany invaded Poland, so Britain and France declared war on Germany. We joined it in 1941, right after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. And here's what they ate. Everything came inside here, a nice compact can, because by this time the US military figured it out. This is 100% original, straight from World War II. Opening this gives chills up my spine. It is something that should be respected as it is a part of our history. However, inside the story was a little bit different. When I pop up the lid, I was even more impressed, as everything was neatly packed, but most importantly, preserved. Take a look at this candy. It is 85 years old, and on the sugar cube you can still see the graphic. This is the instant coffee. They definitely wanted to make sure that you had your sugar, and on the bottom we got some biscuits. And check out how it's still nicely preserved. But just from the smell, it is no longer edible. Let's check out the coffee. As soon as I pop out the lid, even though this is instant coffee, it smelled more like a barn, kind of like what comes out of the horse. But nevertheless, I went ahead and poured it on some water, mixed the whole thing up, opened up the sugar cube, and dropped the whole thing in there. Now that's a nice drink, even though it smelled like something else. And the butterscotch candy, even though the wrapper is quite brittle, it is nicely preserved. Goes to show you, everybody, sugars will always be there. We all know we got sugar craving. Now unfortunately this one is no longer edible, but we were able to get our hands on a replica, which we can eat. I mean, take a look at this one. Made exactly how it was back then, even with special instructions. Now when I opened it up, surprisingly it was fully covered with wax. What do you think, David?
Now the wax was actually in there to preserve all the food contents and waterproof the whole package.
Opening up this thing is quite interesting, as everything is individually packed, and this is what came inside. We got some biscuits, they also have a seasoning package, a few napkins, and of course I gotta go in for the chocolate bar first. I cannot wait to see how this one is gonna taste, because they also give you this to go along with your biscuits, deviled ham. And in order to have a true experience, since this one is a replica, it's 100% edible, but not into the most prized item. Yep, they gave you some cigarettes.
One thing I find interesting about the cigarettes is that when the Germans would capture American soldiers, they'd always take the cigarettes off of them because they always said, American tobacco is better than German.
But the question is, how was the experience of eating this ration?
This is a very important time in our history. So.
That's correct. Okay, so let's do it. Let's dig in. Okay.
Man, when they say hardtack, they mean it.
It is a hard tack, but the ham makes it a little bit more
Palatable.
interesting.
I actually really like the ham. It's salty, it's nice, it's ham-ish. It's good. This is what I really want to try here.
You want to try the candy?
This is a World War II candy?
Jesus.
Oh my God, is that
Tell the entire enemy force where we're at.
Oh my God, that's some hard candy.
Not bad.
Cheers.
Something sweet after something savory, and nothing wrong with that. Nice little dessert.
I really like that candy. It's like a butterscotch.
Now to the Korean War. Wow, this is good. I like this one.
It all began on June 25, 1950, when North Korea invaded South Korea, and our main goal was to stop the spread of communism. And this was their ration, the grandfather of the MRE, the MCI. This one is 74 years old. After opening up the package, this is what we got inside. Meatballs with beans, cracker with cheese spread, a pecan roll, an accessory package, which had some interesting things. When I opened it up, some things were usual, like this powder creamer, napkins, but check it out. They gave you some cigarettes, and these are not like the cigarettes you've seen today. More on that later, because they also gave you some matches, salt, instant coffee, sugar, and chewing gum. Throughout this video, I want you to pay attention what's gonna happen to the chewing gums. It's quite interesting how the military thinks of them. Again, this one is 74 years old. They also give you a can opener. The first thing I wanted to see was the main course, and listen to what happens when I open the can. Nice hiss. Shout out to Steve 1989 MRE Info. I reached out to him, but unfortunately, he never replied. And when I finally got the can open, check it out. It is nicely preserved. It was one of the things the soldiers ate during the Korean War. But that wasn't it. We also have this, the cracker and cheese spread. And just like the previous one, check it out. Those crackers are nicely preserved. It looks similar to the ones we have nowadays. The cheese spread is located all the way on the bottom. I mean, take a look at it. Why did the can puff up like this? But nevertheless, I went ahead and opened it up. And just listen. I think that's a sign that it is 74 years old. Another thing that I immediately noticed was the smell. It is hard to describe. You can clearly see that the fat separated from the solid, and it was clear to me that this one was unedible. So maybe the pecan roll was going to be better, but when I opened up the can, I was out of luck. For dessert, this is what they gave the soldier. Now the cigarettes are quite different than what we have nowadays, and that's because of one element. There is no filter. They want to make sure that you feel that tobacco flavor, and surprisingly, they still smelled like a regular cigarette. But I was able to get my hands on another ration. This one is also 74 years old, and some of the contents are similar. Inside of the accessory pack had things that the other one didn't, like this, some fire starters. Of course, they had the normal stuff as well, but check out this one. Water purification tablets. They wanted to make sure that you didn't get dysentery. They also give you a fruit jelly bar and of course, some gum and more cigarettes. Check out the fire starter. You just gotta ignite it with your matches and that's it. But most importantly, the gum. When I opened it up, oh boy, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be well preserved. Obviously, that was not the case. For the crackers, when I started opening it, no hiss. And as soon as I popped it open, it is extremely well preserved. I totally understand why this is one of the most used items. I mean, take a look at it. This cracker is 74 years old. It makes sense. And on the bottom, they got you covered with some chocolate powder. The cookies and crackers were not promising because when I opened it up, check it out. The cookie itself was completely destroyed. But as you can see on the bottom, those crackers will last any war. But these are the foods of the Korean War.
So far, none of them have scared me, but this one has because it is 100% authentic. And when I opened this can over here, how do you describe that, David?
It was hissing at us.
Exactly. Would you like to smell it, sir?
Oh, that smells horrible.
But I think that it's so interesting, the history behind this food, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, I don't believe any of it is edible and we should not eat it for safety wise.
I think I'm gonna try a cracker anyway.
You want to try a cracker? Are you serious?
Like if it was safe enough for them, I'm in the trenches with them.
I'll do it with you, brother. What year is this from?
1950.
You're telling me this is a 70-year-old cracker?
Just about.
Oh man, you're good in math.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. It's very dry.
Extremely, huh?
It is very salty as well.
Oh my God.
Straight up salt?
It gets drier the more you chew it.
Yeah, it somehow only gets drier.
But actually not bad on taste.
Yeah, you're on your own with that one, bud.
Let's jump on to the Vietnam War.
This cracker is older than my mom.
Your mom tastes good?
No. Bro, what the f?
Next up, the Vietnam War. It all started in 1955, again to stop the spread of communism. The food got a huge upgrade during this period. Inside of this, there's something we have not seen before. This is what was inside. We got our main course, which is scalloped potatoes with pork, an accessory pack, sugar, coffee, matches, more coffee, cocoa beverage, not one, but 2 chocolates. That's it. I want to start this one with the main course, and that's because it is the first time that they're using dehydrated food. When I opened it up, it smelled wonderful, like it was just freshly made. To bring it back to life, all you gotta do is add in hot water, mix it up into the consistency you're happy with, and you are left with this. Now it might not look like much, but believe me when I tell you, it smells wonderful. Seriously, 10 out of 10 will highly recommend. And check out for dessert. They don't give you 1, but 2 of these chocolates. Definitely a plus on my book. And of course, the cocoa beverage powder. You can always count with this one inside of your MRE.
This is really saying something, but this looks the least appetizing.
Really? I think it's going to be great because it smells fantastic to me.
It does smell good. There's a nice waft here.
Smelled great when we were cooking it, so.
It smells good. All right, you guys ready to try?
Is this also authentic?
Yeah.
Authentic.
100%. Now this one is still safe to eat, so we're gonna dig in. Let's go. Let's give it a go. Cheers.
Cheers.
You know?
The flavor isn't bad, but the consistency, it's soft and mushy, but there's like
The flavor is not bad,
there's
and it's
meat in there.
yeah. The flavor is not bad, and it is full of calories, what you need when you're in the middle of the war. You know. What do you think, David?
I think even when I served, I've had worse MREs than that.
Really?
So that's a hard yes for me.
Yeah. This one is not bad, everybody. Not bad. Not bad at all.
This candy tastes more like soap than the soap.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd imagine so.
Next, the Gulf War, which happened between 1990 and 1991. Also known as Operation Desert Storm, Iraq invaded the country of Kuwait, mainly because of oil. But the United Nations Security Council demanded Saddam Hussein to withdraw. He declined, so we had to take action. And for that war, this was the MRE, straight from the 1990s. But after opening everything up, here's what they got inside. An accessory packet, some gum, matches, cream, salt, powdered beef soup, sugar, instant coffee, candy, and napkins. I'm not quite sure what type of chemical it was put, or if there was any, but it smelled like it was already used. And not to wipe your nose, but it didn't stop there, because the next thing I opened it up, check it out. It was the crackers. Even though it seemed nicely preserved, you gotta thank me you can't smell this. Not the best. The grape jelly, on the other hand, was totally fine. It almost seemed like I just bought it right now, but the cracker was just horrendous. Now the Frankfurters, I'm not quite sure why they decided to put it on this packaging, because check it out. After opening up the package, they actually look pretty decent. Looks like it was nicely preserved, and even though the smell was not the best, it seemed fine. But when I jumped onto the main course, things were completely different. Take a look at it.
Guga, this thing is about as old as I am. That does not look right. I've had beans and MREs before, but this looks like what you'd find in a porta potty.
I couldn't agree more. Same goes for the cocoa powder drink. Things are just not right with this one. But nevertheless, they also had instant coffee, and it was exactly what they ate on the Gulf War.
Now, out of all of these food here, which one looks most interesting for you?
Probably the crackers, man.
Wow.
That's at least the one I would eat because this all looks not very good.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you guys, since when it's safe to eat, we will definitely give it a try, but this one is definitely not safe to eat.
It's like a small hot dog,
You
but a
shouldn't
big
even be
Vienna
smelling it.
It smells like a Vienna sausage.
It does, it is. Yeah. Are you gonna eat it, David?
Yeah, not after smelling it.
But now let's jump on to the global war on terror.
That's my time.
Most of us remember what started this war. It was a military campaign led by the United States in response to the 9/11 attacks, which happened in 2001. This war mainly took place in Afghanistan and Iraq, and this is where David served, and here's what they ate.
I actually served in RC South Afghanistan from 2013 to 2014. I served with the 1st Cavalry Division, 2nd Brigade. Trust me, I'm very familiar with these MREs. Let's see what's inside.
According to David and many other soldiers, this is the most prized. They call it the Chili Mac. And I thought that they would carry this around just like this. David put me on check real quick, as they did something that is called field stripping. That makes sense, because they want to save as much space as possible, and of course carry the least amount of weight they can. Inside it came with the main course, cookie, snack bread, cocoa beverage, jalapeno cheese spread, Tootsie Rolls, an accessory pack, and a heating element. Opening up the cookie, I'll be honest with you, it smelled kind of funky, but in all honesty, it looked like it was still edible. Next up, the Tootsie Rolls. These look just fine. I mean, take a look at it, and we all know what a Tootsie Roll tastes like. Next up, the accessory pack. Inside they had matches, sugar and a moist towelette, napkins, red pepper flakes, an instant coffee, powder creamer, and 2 gums. Let's start with the snack first. As soon as I opened it up, whoa, the smell hit me right away. I mean, take a look at it. There is absolutely no reason for this shape. Maybe to resemble bread. This thing is dense with an awful smell. But to make up for it, they have this, the jalapeno cheese spread. Now the trick was to get it just right. And for that, they usually use the heating element, which heats the cheese up. But as soon as I opened it up, take a look. I was not expecting it to look like this. You can clearly see it doesn't look that appetizing. David, is this right?
Back when it was still good, it looked a lot like Cheese Whiz, not whatever this is.
Well, that makes sense because this looks completely unedible. And take a look at the bread. This is not bread. The smell is just a no-no. But if there was one thing that got my hopes up was this, instant coffee. We all love instant coffee, right? But as soon as I laid it down, take a look. It is moldy. I had no idea that mold can actually grow inside. It seems like this MRE is no good. David, would you drink it?
Look, one of us would have probably bet each other to drink this, and $10 is $10.
Well, just maybe this is gonna save the day, because as you already know, the most prized item inside of this container. But after opening it up and putting it in the container, oh boy, that does not look that appetizing. Maybe that's one of the reasons they did not give you a plate. I mean, take a look at it. David, does this look familiar?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look right. Instead of looking like the chili mac that I love, this looks like something I'd give to my dog.
But just maybe this might save the MRE. The instant chocolate milk. Check out how it starts looking like milk on the bottom first. But as soon as you mix it, the smell just punches you in the face. Somewhere, somehow, this MRE went south.
Looks familiar, huh, David?
Much too.
Now, as you guys saw it there, that coffee is a little sus, and so is everything else, everybody. It's kind of moldy, Leo.
Moldy coffee?
Unfortunately, it's unedible, and it's already past its prime, let's say. But what did you look forward to the most over here?
Honestly, I was really looking forward to that chili mac. Not now with the way it looks, but I've seen grown men fight over this MRE before.
Really?
Yeah, it was that serious.
I'm still surprised because I didn't even know coffee could get moldy.
Yeah, well, there, now you know. The more you know. David, what was your best trade-in ever?
I have traded my chili mac MRE for someone to do my Firewatch.
I'm talking about trade for food, David, not for service.
No, we trade for anything.
That's crazy. Now, let's jump on to the next one.
It's now time for the current MRE. I was able to get my hands on this one, beef strip with tomato sauce. However, there are several different other availables. The one that is most prized is the pizza MRE. Since I didn't get my hands on that one, check out what this one has inside. It comes with bread, jam, smoothie, chocolate, pudding, peanut butter, accessory pack, a heater, and of course the main course. The most interesting thing for me is this. They give you a container to prepare the whole thing. There is also instructions, and it's quite simple. Rip off the top, add a tiny bit of water, making sure not to overfill it, place your food in there, close it up, and let it sit on a rock. But let's check out what happens in the end. This thing got really hot, and after opening it up, check it out. This is the beef and tomato sauce MRE, the main course. But that's not it, as here we got what the military call bread. After opening it up, check it out. It looks like a cracker. It is quite compressed, dense, and dry. But to make up for it, they give you peanut butter and jelly, which is a good thing. And I don't know if you're like me. I like equal parts of peanut butter and jelly on my toast, if we can call that a toast. Seems like a nice sweet treat. However, this thing is as dry as the Sahara Desert. The military knows this, so they go ahead and give you a smoothie for it. You tear the package open, and just like Tang, add some water. Mix it all up, and that's it. To add in even more calories, they give you this protein pudding. It's something sweet, and if you ever had a protein bar, you know exactly what this tastes like. But maybe the star of the show would be this, M&Ms. And David's got something to say.
These M&Ms and the MREs are like gold. You can trade it for other MRE pieces, or you can even trade it for services.
Now that is a very valuable item. Who would have thought? Next up, they give you some accessories, which comes with a lot of different things. We got some chewing gum, a moist towelette, a book of matches, and some napkins. However, they didn't use this to clean their mouth. David?
Look, in times of emergency, you gotta use what you got to wipe your butt.
And of course, to add even more flavor, a tiny bit of salt. Now the question is, are current MREs delicious? Well, let's find out.
You can get some favors done for those.
This has to be worth a lot, everybody, huh?
And the longer you're out in the field,
Yeah.
the more those are worth. A pack of M&Ms will get you a long way in the field.
Oh man, I truly understand that.
This PB&J is calling my name. At the start of this video, I saw things I had never seen before, and now seeing a pack of M&Ms, some PB&J, like familiar things just show how crazy the history of this
I
is.
know, it's absolutely insane what we've been through today. Yeah, this one about to be real good, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh. Oh, damn, that's good.
Yeah, I'd eat the hell out of that.
This one's good, huh?
No, this one's my favorite one by far, honestly. The meat is delicious, the sauce is nice, and I love washing it down with some PB&J. Although this MRE bread is not my favorite type, but it's good.
What are you doing?
A little shepherd here.
I would trade this right here for that, but you took it all, that's fine. But here's the deal, David. I got a surprise for the next one.
Oh yeah?
The next one is even more special than this one.
You have an experimental MRE?
Yeah.
Oh.
And here we have our finale, what I think all of our servicemen and women deserves, huh?
Dang.
And this is for you, David. That's 100% yours. Me and you, we're just gonna watch.
Yeah, you guys sit there and watch and eat. This is mine.
Thank you, everybody, for your service. Happy Veterans Day tomorrow. Make sure you thank a veteran, but most importantly, can we dig in here? So as we're trying this, David, which one stuck out the most for you out of all of those?
You know, the new ones look really cool. But I got that kind of nostalgia for my GWAT days.
Which one stood out the most for you, Leo? Which one were the one that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life?
That soap. The first one.
To all of our veterans, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
It's just a little bit better than an MRE.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I don't even know how to describe this. That is so good.
It's the end of the video.
End of the video. Never mind. No description needed. This tastes good. That's all you guys got to know.
this was a really nice meal and I really enjoyed being able to eat this. I do want to take a moment for the guys that can't eat this, especially two guys that I served with, Lieutenant Jason Togi and Specialist Andrew Sipple. Thank you for your ultimate sacrifice. This video is dedicated to you.
Thank you again for all the servicemen and women out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you learned something new, because I definitely did. And a huge thanks to Casey from MREmountain.com. This video would not be possible without his help. His info will be on the description down below. Even though some things were not edible, this is an experience I will never forget. Thank you, David, for both things, for serving and being here.
Hey, thank you for the steak. It's delicious.
There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below which MREs stand out the most for you. I love to know. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.